Music producers, it's Curtis King of Airbit.com here to discuss with you, how do you find your sound as a music producer? Let's talk about it.
Airbit.com.
Producers, you have been making beats maybe for some weeks, maybe for some years, maybe for some months, and you're sitting up here, you in your zone, you're playing your keys, and you just feel like, you know what, I'm better than when I started, but my sound is not quite my sound yet. I feel like it's just everybody that I've been listening to. And that's understandable. You gotta understand, just face the facts. There is no schooling or traditional schooling that we really go to become a great producer. Most producers do learn by listening to other producers. Most producers do learn by mimicking. They learn by listening to beats and trying to break down every instrument, watching tutorials, and trying to understand the techniques of their favorite producers. But most of this that we're doing is really just copycat until we figure out what it is our own sound. Now, here's something that's a very unpopular opinion, and mind you, this is my opinion. I don't know if Airbit needs to put some kind of these are the views of Curtis King. I don't know if they need to put that, but this is my particular view on it. In order to find your sound in the very beginning, copy everything. Copy everything. Stop wasting your time, copy everything. Curtis, what you mean copy? Copy everything. Stop arguing, copy everything. Now, when I say copy everything, keep this in mind. I read a quote one time that said, when you copy from one source, it's plagiarism. But when you copy from multiple sources, it's called research. Now, for those of you in college or doing term papers, you understand what I'm talking about. It's almost like, when you're citing the Cliff Notes and citing the encyclopedia, or citing Wikipedia, or citing all these different sources, it becomes research. But if you take from one source, you're literally just copying verbatim, their information. So it's the same thing when it comes to making beats. Now, if you're copying one producer, you're plagiarizing. But say you're a fan of Metro Boomin. Say you love the way that his 808 arrangements are. I mean, say you love the way his hi-hats are sort of spread out. Maybe you want to mix that together with, like, I don't know, some Timbaland drum sequences or some drum patterns that Timbaland would have put together. Maybe you take that and you say, you know what, I want the melodic vibes of, a Cardo. I want some of the arrangements of, I don't know, the Neptunes. Say you bring all these things and all these different sources together, that is called research. It's not plagiarism. I don't know why I'm still doing this, but it's not plagiarism. So when I say copy everything, don't get the wrong message. I'm not saying go out there and mimic somebody's beat step by step. Or maybe I am saying that. When I first got started, I had beats that I thought they were the most magnificent beats on earth. And what I ended up doing, and this one of my mentors, Tay Beats, actually told me to do this. He said, listen to your favorite beats and then try to copy the drum pattern verbatim. Everything. By every single instrument, every single step, every single rhythm. Copy everything. And then when you sit there long enough, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna realize when you take that, say you loop a part of their beat, right? And then you try to put your beat on top of it. What you're gonna notice when you take their beat off, you're gonna listen to that beat and be like, there's flaws in this. Maybe it's the time, maybe the snare's not swung as far back as it should be. Maybe the hi-hat sound dry, maybe there's effects that they add to it. Maybe you did everything according to plan, according to what their loop is, and maybe now you don't like some things. That is when you're starting to come to your magic. That's when you start finding your sound. When you start to think about all these sounds that are in your head anyways, as you're making beats, there's so many beats in your head as you're making a beat that you're probably not even acknowledging or thinking about. But these melodies are not just coming out of nowhere. No, you don't have a magical unicorn inside your head playing a piano like, that's not what's going on inside your head. You're pulling from these different sources, these things that have inspired you, made you feel good, made you angry, made you happy, things that have really struck at your emotion. You're now pulling from that source and creating your music with it. So find your favorite beat. Find your favorite part of that beat. Loop it around. Add the same drums. And what you're gonna find out is that as you start putting it together and you remove that loop, you start realizing, I don't like the hi-hats in this. You know what? My favorite producer's hi-hats are actually whack. Ugh. Or you start to say, you know what? the kick is cool, but I feel like there's more that can be done with it. When you start making these conscious decisions, when you loop that thing so many times that you get sick to your stomach, guess what? You'll start making decisions that become your sound. Because at that point in time, the things that are being affected inside of you, the things that are being affected, not infected, I hope you're not getting infected. The things that are being affected inside of you are now your particular instincts. Your animalistic instincts are coming out. Listen to that voice. Listen to that voice of irritation. Listen to that feeling. The more you listen to that feeling, the more you'll realize I am starting to now establish my own sound. I'm figuring out my own sound now. But I think that that's the safest route. That is the most clear route for anybody. Stop faking it. Stop acting like you're coming up with all these ideas inside your head and you've never, ever had to use a reference. Let's stop lying. You know, while you're doing all of that and you think you're playing fair by trying to come up with stuff, somebody over there is playing unfair and they're just doing it. Just getting it done. We'll worry about the details later. So copy everything. Copy from one source, bad. That's plagiarism. Copy from multiple sources, that is called research. And this, my friends, is how I found my sound. And I hope that you're gonna find your sound. Once again, this is Curtis King of Airbit.com. Have a good one.
Airbit.com.